WLNS is here for you with 6 News at 5:30.
Thanks for joining us tonight at 5:30. I'm Siobhan Klepper. We have a lot of news to cover in the first 6 minutes, so let's hit that clock. And we begin tonight with a shooting at a high school in Tennessee that killed 2 people, including the accused shooter. It happened this afternoon. Police say a 17-year-old student at Antioch High School shot another student in the cafeteria, killing her. Another student was also shot but survived. Police described that student's injury as a graze. Officials say the suspected shooter used a handgun to kill himself. 2 school resource officers were on campus at the time, but were not in the cafeteria. In California, a new fast-moving wildfire just exploded in size this afternoon in the Los Angeles area. The blaze, which is being called the Hughes Fire, burned at least 500 acres this morning and grew to about 3,400 acres throughout the day. LA County officials say the area has not had any rain for about 300 days. A 60 to 80% chance of a small amount of rain is in the forecast starting on Saturday. Back here in Michigan, one of the people charged with the crimes for participating in the riot at the U.S. Capitol in 2021 is Isaac Thomas of Flint, who was just pardoned by President Donald Trump. The 22-year-old was set to stand trial in March. He was accused of threatening police with a pole and had 12 charges in total against him. Thomas told our ABC affiliate in Detroit that he was first questioned by the FBI in the weeks after the January 6th attempt to overthrow Congress and was charged 2 years later. On Monday, the president either pardoned or commuted the sentences of everyone involved in the violent attack. In Macomb County, DeAndre Booker, the boyfriend of the still missing Ashley Elkins, was in court today for a probable cause hearing. The 32-year-old is charged with lying to police during their investigation into the woman's disappearance. At today's hearing, the judge rejected the defense's request to lower Booker's bond, saying the man was a flight risk. Elkins was last seen on January 2nd. Some of the search has focused on a Macomb County landfill, but no findings have been announced. In Muskegon County this morning, state police say there was a 13-car pileup on US 31 that left people with serious injuries. Reporters on the scene say there were whiteout conditions on the highway at the time and it was hard to see the lanes. Tonight, state police are urging drivers to take it slow in this kind of weather and drive with their headlights on. Muskegon County is among those with a winter storm warning through 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. And take a look at this. A neighborhood in Texas is on edge after someone showed up at a door in a devil mask and holding a sign with a reference to the biblical book of Revelations. The couple who lives at the home was not there when it happened at the time, which was last Saturday night, but got a notification from their doorbell camera. They called police. The person was gone by the time officers arrived. Now, police say no obvious crime has been committed, but they say they will continue to patrol the neighborhood. In Wisconsin, a 19-year-old man is accused of setting a fire at Congressman Glenn Grothman's office, and he appeared in court today. Prosecutors say Caden Stachowicz set the fire because the congressman was one of those who voted to ban the social media platform TikTok. They say the man claimed the ban violated his constitutional rights. There were no injuries reported in the fire. Some international news for you now. Police in Toronto, Ontario say they have made the biggest cocaine bust in the city's history. On Tuesday, they announced more than 1,800 pounds of cocaine was seized. Police say the drugs came from one of the most powerful Mexican drug cartels. Police arrested 2 Mexican nationals and 3 Canadians. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu announced today that his country will keep control of a major crossing between the Gaza Strip and Egypt. Israel took control of the crossing at Rafah during the war with Hamas. Before then, Egypt had control. In the announcement, Netanyahu said the area will be surrounded by Israeli troops and they'll decide who passes through and who doesn't. Monitors from the European Union will also be present. In the West Bank, suspected Jewish settlers stormed Palestinian villages in the occupied area late Monday, setting cars and property on fire. That was just before President Trump canceled sanctions against Israelis accused of violence in the territory. Former President Joe Biden placed those sanctions on the settlers. The West Bank's 3 million Palestinians live under open-ended Israeli military rule, with the Palestinian Authority overseeing the day-to-day functions of cities and towns. As the world's elite and others get together at this year's World Economic Forum in Switzerland, reporters had questions for Jose Raul Mulino, the president of Panama, about comments made by President Trump. The American president has repeatedly threatened to take control of the Panama Canal and will not rule out using force. Here's how President Mulino replied.
Be serious, be serious.
He went on to say, quote, "The Panama Canal belongs to Panama and will continue to belong to Panama." And there's some tasty business news for fast food lovers here in Michigan. Hot and Now is coming back. The firm Gun Lake Investments announced that on Tuesday that it has acquired the brand and will open 2 locations in the next year. One will be in Wayland near the Gun Lake Casino, and the other will be in Alpena. More could follow. The fast food restaurant was founded in 1984 in Kalamazoo, and there is still an independently owned location in Sturgis. The company went bankrupt in 2004 after several changes in ownership. And to wrap up our first 6 minutes of news, while the southern United States grapples with snow from a recent storm, some people in Mississippi are getting inventive when it comes to sledding, because snow sleds aren't exactly a common item in households in the Gulf Coast states. So people are using objects like inner tubes, trash can lids, and more.
Deer, and if you kill it, but we just decided to use it so we could go down. This is probably the last time I'll see snow for a long time here.
Well, meteorologists are saying that this is a once-in-a-lifetime weather event. I remember I got desperate, Kendall, and so back in college we used the trays for the food trays from the cafeteria and went down some big sledding hills, and they were fast.
I was just going to say, some of those items can be deceivingly fast there.
Yeah, you got to do what you got to do to enjoy, some winter weather.
Yeah, and we finally have the chance for snow if you want to go sledding. Maybe an actual sled and not some of those tray tables there.
We just need a warm-up, though, Kendall, to do that.
We got that coming along the way, too, Siobhan. So a double whammy to keep everybody happy.
Your full forecast right after the break, and then later before reaching for the sidewalk salt. Stick around for this week's Weather Wednesday report, where we will explain why it doesn't always work in super cold temperatures. That and much more still to come on 6 News at 5:30.